Alright, what is going on everybody? Avon here, and I haven't made a video on this channel in a while. I just kind of got bored of making technology videos, and I'm still not quite ready to jump back into it. But I really think this year with the release of the iPhone 7 is a good year to start uploading a little bit more often again. And without any further ado, I'm just going to jump into the topic of this video. I pre-ordered a 256GB iPhone 7 Plus in jet black on September 9th at around 1 a.m. This is going to be a list of reasons, in my opinion, in no particular order, of why you shouldn't buy an iPhone 7. I should note the context of this video. While I've used an iPhone 6s, I've never owned one for myself, and I've owned an iPhone 6 Plus since September of 2014. This particular phone is space gray, 64GB, so that is the kind of space storage that I've been working with. And so I'm just going to kind of base this video off of my experience using that, but I'm also going to throw in some consideration when considering that some people have iPhone 6s's. Also, throughout this video, I'll be kind of relating this to my experience and why the issues that I discuss in this video don't really relate to me or are things that I can live with. Number one, and probably the most obvious, the headphone jack. The headphone jack that is well known on previous versions of the iPhone is gone in the iPhone 7. Now, a lot of people are freaking out about this. Everybody loves their headphones, everybody loves their ear pods or their Beats or whatever they use, and a lot of people for some reason think that they just won't be able to plug in their headphones anymore. What these people don't realize is that there's actually a lightning to 3.5mm adapter in the box. Now, yes, there's a possibility that you'll lose the adapter or that you'll forget it when you're taking your phone places, but it's nice to know that your phone will still be backwards compatible with any devices you want to use it with regardless. And if you do lose it or you just kind of forget it and you need to buy a new one, it's only $9 from Apple. This actually surprised me a ton because Apple is kind of known for making their adapters really expensive. Now, even with the adapter, it raises a couple more questions. What if I want to charge my phone and listen to music or an audiobook or a podcast at the same time? If that's the case, then you're kind of out of luck unless you want to buy a $50 adapter from a third party, as Apple does not sell this currently. If you want that functionality, you're going to have to buy an extra $50 adapter from a company like Belkin, and even then, it's a really ugly adapter. I'll put a picture of it on screen right now. The next reason not to buy the iPhone 7 is it's simply not that big of an upgrade from the iPhone 6s. Like I said previously, this really only applies if you have an iPhone 6s or 6s Plus, as the iPhone 7 isn't much of an upgrade. In case you aren't aware, iOS 10 will be releasing for many of the previous iPhones, and that in and of itself will add much more functionality to your year-old phone. Sure, the iPhone 7 has an improved camera, a little bit improved battery life, and it's a little bit faster. But think about this. When has your iPhone 6s ever been slow? Like, I mean really slow. Of course, there's the occasional slowdown. That's still going to happen with the iPhone 7. But when has your iPhone 6s actually been slow? So the phone hasn't changed much. Even the design hasn't changed much. So is it really worth spending $600 or maybe $300 if you actually have an upgrade just to get a slightly better phone when you could easily just wait another year? So the next reason you might not want to buy the iPhone 7 is because there's just other options. I don't know about you, but I'm not generally tied to one phone. I've used a Galaxy S4 in the past, and I've used a OnePlus One, and both are great phones. I don't really have any ties to iPhones other than the fact that most of my friends use iPhones, so there's iMessage for me. Other than that, that's about it. I just have a lot of apps and iMessage on an iPhone, so that's why I buy iPhones every year. There's other reasons for buying a phone, such as having a phone with quick charge, so you can charge your phone quicker, or a phone with a bigger battery, so your phone lasts longer, or a phone with a better camera, or a phone that's waterproof. The point I'm trying to make is that iPhones are not your only choice, and that I encourage you to look at your other options before deciding, okay, I need an iPhone. Because while I do enjoy using iPhones a little bit more than Android devices, there's nothing wrong with having an Android device, and I would totally be fine with using an Android device if I didn't kind of need an iPhone to communicate with most of my friends that either have iPhones or use iPod Touches. So, yeah. The next reason you might not want an iPhone 7 is because it's expensive. Every single iPhone that comes out every single year usually starts around $700 for the very base model. This year, that's the 32GB iPhone 7, just the normal version in the black color, gold, silver, or rose gold. Note how I didn't say jet black, because the jet black iPhone 7 is only available in the 128 and 256GB variants. So you really can't get that as the base model, so you're gonna have to get one of the original 4 colors. And even that base model is $700. It's $650, but we're just gonna round up to $700 for simplicity's sake. $700 is the base price that you're gonna have to pay for an iPhone 7, when you can just as easily get the last year's model iPhone 6s, and like I said earlier in the video, there's not much difference between those two phones regarding design and overall functionality. You're still going to get the pressure sensitive screen with the 6S, you're still going to get the super fast Touch ID functionality, you're going to get a great camera, and there's just so much you're going to get with the 6S for a much cheaper price than it was last year. So my last reason about why not to get an iPhone 7 is not really relating the phone to previous iPhones, but more relating it to other phones in general, specifically Android phones. And that reason is iOS. iOS becomes more and more customizable every year and more advanced every single year. From iOS 3 to iOS 4, from iOS 4 to iOS 5, and 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, it just becomes better every single year. But for some people, better is, just not enough. They want fully customizable operating systems, they want like moving animated backgrounds, they want full customization over their operating system, they want to be able to root it more frequently, they want all this crazy stuff, customizable operating systems, flashable bootloaders, and all this crazy stuff. And for those people, iPhones just aren't enough. If you're one of those people, then for you, I would recommend something more open, like any Android device out there. If you have a Galaxy phone, TouchWiz comes on that phone, which for me personally, I've always disliked because it's not very stock Android, and I've always loved to install CyanogenMod on that. And so an Android device is probably more useful to you than something as closed-sourced as an iPhone. So yeah, that's my final reason of why you shouldn't buy an iPhone 7. And I know that last one doesn't really apply to people who normally buy iPhones in the first place, but I think the ones that I mentioned before that are pretty relevant towards people that normally buy iPhones. And I hope you found this video helpful when you're considering whether you should buy an iPhone 7 or not. Anyway guys, I probably won't be making another video until I receive the iPhone 7 Plus that I pre-ordered, which is coming in October. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. But it's coming on October 5th, and I guess I'll be back to unbox that. If I make any other video before that, then it's a freaking miracle. But yeah, I will see you guys then. Peace out.